7 symptoms of depression to look out for. Despite being one of the deadliest disorders in the world, for the longest time, depression has been treated as a taboo subject. Unfortunately, people suffering from mental disorders have been looked down upon by the world throughout history. Thankfully, efforts have been made in the last few years to shed some light on this disease, and it has helped educate people about the dangers of this silent killer. It is estimated that upwards of 16 million people are affected by depression each year in America alone, and out of those, a mere 3.5% of people come forward to seek help for their illness. As awareness grows, more and more people continue to come forward and share their struggles with the disorder, resulting in medical advances and support structures to be set up to help people cope with the illness. Often, people mistake a depressive episode for general unhappiness and fail to realize the gravity of their situation. While it is natural to be unhappy from time to time, extended bouts of sadness may be a hint of something more sinister. We at Hapthy would today like to do our part in raising awareness for this deadly disease. It is crucial to have the knowledge to identify symptoms of depression. It is a disease that simply cannot be combated alone, so possessing this knowledge could one day help save the life of a family member or a dear friend. Please stick around to the end of the video, where we will share some key information that could help you save a life. Here are some major signs and habits that could help you identify if you or someone you know is suffering from depression. Wanting to be isolated. Depression is a mental disorder that will engulf you with dark thoughts and self-destructive habits. One of these habits is wanting to stay isolated from people and your responsibilities. Most people who suffer from depression prefer to stay alone in their rooms or houses, lost in thoughts of self-pity and sadness. Any sort of socialization starts to seem like an unwelcome task, and important responsibilities like paying bills and showing up to your job start to take a back seat. You may feel more inclined to reject social advances from people by ignoring calls and texts. Most people who fall victim to depression do not seek help because they fear it may seem like a sign of weakness and feel like they can deal with it on their own. This usually leads down a dark path of soul-searching in an attempt to find a reason for the sadness. A failure to produce reasons usually ends up making the situation worse. This self-destructive path leads to pushing people away in a hurtful manner to mask the unhealthy emotional state your mind is in. Insomnia or oversleeping. It is not uncommon for people suffering from depression to have sleeping issues. Getting a good night's sleep is essential to your mental and physical health, and a lack of sleep has been linked to everything from obesity to cancer. Usually, depressed people will hide behind the excuse of being tired or sleepy in order to be alone. This usually does more harm than good, because people will end up with negative thoughts of self-loathing and hopelessness if they are unable to sleep. Conversely, some depressed people may have the opposite reaction when it comes to sleep. They may start oversleeping and seemingly lazy and droopy. They may tend to slouch around the house when they come back from a job or school, at least until someone forces them to be more active. They may spend an unnatural amount of time in bed or their room because they feel like they're unable to cope with the stress and effort required to perform their daily routines. Sudden swings in mood are another sign of depression. A person may go from being sleepy all day to working out all the time or just sitting around. Less energetic. While this ties in with wanting to be alone and being sleepy all the time, another symptom of depression in people is the lack of willpower and energy. People will find it easier to cancel plans and appointments in favor of staying home alone and resting. While there is nothing wrong with treating yourself to a lazy day on the couch watching your favorite shows, but when it starts to become a constant routine, it can be because of depression. This can fester into an extremely unhealthy lifestyle situation, which starts to affect a person's diet, social life, and even personal hygiene. On the other hand, some people may start taking excessive showers because the sound of water may seem like a calming presence. Another side effect of this is that people start avoiding their responsibilities and lose a sense of their physical appearance. Unhealthy eating habits start to take over a person's life as the motivation and energy to prepare a home-cooked meal is no longer there. This results in ordering fast food in an attempt to find comfort and nourishment. This path not only leads to obesity, but people may find they cannot enjoy their food anyway because their mind is occupied with other problems. People may also lose their appetite completely, depending on the severity of their depression. Being distracted. Since depression is such a crippling mental disorder, it makes complete sense that people suffering from it will want to find ways to distract themselves from their negative thoughts. Distractions can manifest in many different forms, ranging from listening to music and playing video games to cleaning and exercise. Being addicted to cleaning and exercise can be the more positive types of distractions. They can aid in keeping the mind occupied while working towards self-improvement for yourself and your surroundings. The feeling of low self-worth and guilt is one of the major symptoms of depression. Distractions like exercise and running can help counter these thoughts, even if just for a little while, as they provide a sense of accomplishment to the person. You can tell a lot about a person by the type of music they enjoy. Someone may be a huge fan of upbeat pop or rock music. If they have a sudden change to something softer and sadder, it may be an indication of what they're feeling mentally. Depressed people will constantly try to distract themselves with activities that help remind them of happier times in search of feeling fulfilled again. This helps them temporarily escape the negative thoughts that surround them otherwise. Falling into bad habits. While exercise and cleaning are some of the good distractions depressed people may depend on, let us also discuss some of the bad habits that may develop which can make things even worse. One of the biggest warning signs of depression is self-harm. This is something that needs to be highlighted immediately if you notice any signs or marks of self-harm on anyone. People with severe depression do this because it gives them a false sense of satisfaction. The negative thoughts surrounding them somehow convince them that they deserve to feel pain and punishment. This can turn into a life-threatening situation that should be taken care of immediately. Self-harm can range from trichotillomania, which is a disorder involving pulling one's own hair, to more serious bodily harm that could result in a serious injury or death. Pulling skin and chewing nails is also another sign that someone may be suffering from anxiety and depression. Substance abuse. Another potentially life-threatening symptom of depression is turning towards drugs and alcohol for a temporary feeling of euphoria and joy to escape the burdens of the world. Depressed people will do anything to feel happy again, and that includes poisoning the body with harmful narcotics like opiates and even abusing certain prescription medications like alprazolam. Alcohol abuse becomes more common in an attempt to suppress or forget feelings of self-loathing, fear, loneliness, and stress. This in turn leads to more side effects like irritability and mood swings. Persistent alcohol and substance abuse can lead to various other illnesses. Some of these include cardiovascular problems, respiratory problems, liver damage, kidney damage, neurological issues, and a generally compromised immune system. In addition to health problems, substance abuse also takes a massive toll on your personal appearance, as different drugs may have a different effect on your physique. Alcoholism may make your body bloated, while opiate abuse may kill your appetite and make you drop an unhealthy amount of body weight. Certain drugs may have a negative impact on your gums and may result in loss of teeth. All these factors end up contributing to depression in the long run for a temporary boost in morale. Irritability. Especially in men, depression has been known to cause feelings of restlessness and misplaced anger. It can also result in reckless behavior with no concern for one's own well-being, like driving recklessly and making risky decisions. According to research, 1/3 of all people suffering from depression also go through sudden outbursts of anger or even violence. Unfortunately, our loved ones are usually the target of these episodes. Sudden mood swings and cranky behavior come out when people are trying to help you, but your disorder makes it impossible for you to accept any goodwill, as the mind is constantly stuck in the thought that you do not deserve any. Or even if the depression causes the person to isolate, outbursts of anger are used to push people away. As promised, it's time to share some key information with you that could one day help you save someone suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts. What you may not know is that as awareness for this disease has increased, more and more resources have been poured into suicide prevention and help sectors. There are several telltale signs that someone is considering suicide, and they include talking about suicide, constantly preoccupied with death, no hope for future, seeking out lethal means, a sudden sense of calm. These are just some signs that someone may be close to ending their life. If you suspect anything, please do not hesitate to extend a helping hand. Even the most depressed and suicidal person has mixed feelings about death, and talking about it can help calm them down. However, if you feel like someone is beyond your help, please call a suicide prevention hotline or the authorities as soon as possible so they can provide proper care. Depression plays a nasty trick on the mind, luring people into false conviction that they are not loved or cared for, that their lives are meaningless, and that there is no reason to continue trying to live. We urge you to seek help if you or anyone you know have ever thought about or experienced any of these symptoms. It is not always easy to talk about mental illness, but it is important to understand that there are people out there that want nothing more than to help you.